Shalom, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders, a great millstone who teach this truth according to the Bible. Sincere Shalom to all the fellow laborers who push this truth and believe in this truth in the last days, as we are called to do so here in Babylon the Great. I'm back with another lesson, and today I'm going to go into this short that I found. I did another short a couple weeks back on the same topic where it was two different Edomites that were going into the same thing, and they were essentially saying the same thing that this individual here is saying. And I just wanted to bring up a couple scriptures on it because it's that time where Esau is going to come down with great wrath because he feels that, he's losing power. And you're seeing a lot of this kind of content on platforms like Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and whatnot, that the so-called white man, Esau Edom, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, they are feeling exposed, okay? They're feeling exposed, they're feeling attacked, and just like the Lord said, in the last days, the man of sin shall be revealed, all right? So there's nothing they can do to stop their downfall, even though they're going to try to use their propaganda. They're going to try to use controlling the narrative to intimidate, right? They're going to try to intimidate people into capitulating to their will. And it's not going to work. The whole world knows who these people are. The whole world has turned against, the entirety of the global south has turned against these people. As my man, Shaheed Bolson says, the global south, which is really just going into you so-called colored people, okay, you so-called melanated people, all right? But this video is for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, the true children of the nation of Israel, all right? And this guy is going to talk about how, people are saying that the so-called white population is going down, which it is actually. They're not having children, okay, because Esau, look at this dude, look at this devil on the screen, right? Esau is not having children because, prophetically, it's time for them to relinquish power over the earth. And B, he's just a weak man. He's got weak seed. Okay, he's not like the Israelite man. Okay, who will always be having children. Okay, to the day he dies. All right, and we're about to enter into a period where the Israelite man will be incapable of dying. All right, when we reach into the kingdom, that everlasting life that was promised through the death, burial, and resurrection of Yahushua. All right, now let's listen to this video because I have precepts pulled up. But once again, listen, everything he's saying is him, just like many other Edomites, are in a sort of panic mode. And let's just be honest, the reason why a lot of this content is being pushed forth from both Jake going into exposing Esau in their own way, and then Esau reacting and coming back with, well, we rule the world, we conquer the world, we're the best military, all that bullshit, okay, which is true. They do rule the world. They do have the strongest military. It just goes to show that everybody is watching what our elders and our apostles are saying, okay? The Hebrew Israelites, the doctrine of the Hebrew Israelites is everywhere, and everybody is talking about it, even though they do not want to give credit. They don't want to admit that this is where they heard it from. All right, and, you can't fight against the truth, okay? You can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. So let's watch this, and we'll pull up the scriptures, all right?
The people talking about the fact that the white population is going down and that white people are set to become a minority in the near future, and essentially that white people or people of European descent will go extinct. I wish we could bet on this because I'm going to tell you right now that is never going to happen. I would put the house on it. This would be like investing in Bitcoin in 2009. I'm sorry to burst someone's bubble if they don't like white people, but us going extinct is 100% never going to happen. And you can look through history and see this over and over and over and over. I'll break it down for you. Basically what it is something called white dormancy. What it is when everything's good, white people are docile, they're happy, they want everybody to come in, check out their stuff, they're very selfless. Then when it reaches a certain boiling point, they freak the fuck out and snap and start taking over everything until they become sufficiently exhausted. And then they just settle down with the civilization and the things that they've conquered. And then they just go dormant like nothing even happened. Like, oh, it's good. Everything's fine. So I see a lot of people talking about.
All right, so you heard the gist of the video. All right, and it's going to loop. Let's just hit our first scripture. He said that, a lot of people are saying that the so-called white man is going to go extinct. All right, and that's 100% scriptural. Now, this guy says, well, let's just listen to this first part again because I want to get his words right.
The fact that the white population is going down and that white people are set to become a minority in the near future. And essentially that white people or people...
Well, let's stop it right there. You're a minority right now, okay? White people are a minority. They have always been a minority, okay, in comparison to the entirety of the world, especially to Jake. If you just take the population of Jake in the world, the scriptures say that Jake, okay, we are as numerous as the sands of the sea. Okay, you can't count the number of Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are in the world. All right, so you are already a minority. All right, that's not an arguable fact. But as far as you going extinct, let's listen again.
Of European descent will go extinct. I wish we could bet on this because I'm going to tell you right now that is never going to happen. I would.
Well, you would lose that bet. All right, you would lose that bet because we, okay, the Hebrew Israelites of Great Millstone and the brothers that teach, okay, this likewise doctrine and that know the scriptures, okay. Even the other West camps teach the same thing with regards to Esau and what's going to happen to Esau, unless you're like Genesis or those two weirdos, okay, that the scriptures are clear, all right? You so-called white people are going to be eliminated from the earth, all right? You're going to be what's called genocided, all right? Genocide. Let's get that word, genocide. All right, let's get the word genocide. All right, let's open a new tab. Let's get the definition, all right? Genocide, okay, is the intentional, systematic destruction in whole or in part of a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. The term was coined in 1944 by legal scholar Raphael Lemkin and is formally recognized as a crime under international law. Well, the Heavenly Father, that's his exact plan for you Edomites, man. All right? Let's get it in Obadiah, because you, sir, are wrong. You white people are going extinct. All right, Obadiah from the top. All right, says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, power, concerning Edom. And this is how we know that you will be eliminated from the earth, because you are the Edomites. All right, when he says Edom, he's talking to you so-called white people. All right, this is your nationality. This is your heritage. It's your true biblical nationality, the Edomites. Okay, it says, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Okay, the rest of the world is going to come up against you, man. All right, the rest of the world is going to come up against the Edomites. You're going to realize just how much of a minority you really are in the world. Okay, because you really are. All right, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. This world has come to the realization that you're actually the problem. You know how you went through all the wars and the conquering that they did, and then they settled down and whatnot? Yeah, the world hasn't forgotten that at all, okay? You may say that, oh, well, after they conquer, then they settle down and act like nothing happened. Well, the world doesn't act like nothing happened. The world remembers. That's why you're greatly despised. And that's why you got to make videos like this to try to defend your heritage and your people. Because the world is now getting sick and tired of you being in rulership and you thinking that you can go around the world colonizing and conquering and nothing's going to happen to you. The Lord is going to send back his son Yahushai to remove you from power. And that is how it's going to end for you. Okay, and you're going to go into slavery for 1,000 years. But I'm going to keep reading because it goes into the point of what he said, you'll never be extinct. Well, the Bible says different. All right, it says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Yeah, you Caucasians, your first home was in the red rocks of Petra. Okay, Edom, the land of Edom where you're from, you dwell in the caves of the rocks. You're cavemen, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Just like this guy is insinuating with his video that nobody's going to be able to conquer them, nobody's going to be able to do anything to them. Well, the scriptures say different, man. The Israelites are going to come back and whip your ass, man. All right? Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, in every Edomite country as an eagle, as their sigil on their flags, as their national bird. That's what they like to pose themselves as. Okay, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So you are coming down, right? If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Okay, so Esau, Edom, he goes around and he cannot never be satiated. All right, he just takes and takes and takes and takes until there's literally nothing left, and he will take until the world is destroyed, the planet Earth is destroyed, including his own people. Verse 6 says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Right, it took a while before people realized who you were, which is the devil, the Edomite, okay, the descendants of Esau, the people that the Lord hates. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Okay? But listen to this. Okay? What verse was I looking for? Right. Verse 9. Thy mighty men, O Teman, which is an Edomite tribe, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So it's not like, you so-called white people are just going to go extinct. You're not just going to go extinct, like you're going to die off, but you're going to be eliminated violently. That's what the scriptures say. Read it, okay? Obadiah 1 and verse 9. Every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Okay, why? For thy violence. Like you just said, he went into it. You commit violence against the world, and you think you're going to get away with it. You're not going to get away with it. You're going to be destroyed. Okay, let's get back to this video, man. Bear with me 1 second. All right.
So I see a lot of people talking about the fact that the white population is going down and that white people are set to become a minority in the near future. And essentially that white people or people of European descent will go extinct. I wish we could bet on this because I'm going to tell you right now that is never going to happen. I would put the house on it. This would be like investing.
Well, you lost that bet already, Gary. Okay, I believe that's his name. Gary and Carlos. Yeah, I think that's what it says right there, but not sure what this dude's name is. All right. Yeah, the scriptures say you're going to be eliminated. All right, you're going to be taken out. All right, by the Israelites. Let me get that actually. All right, that's what genocide is, by the way. Okay, complete and total annihilation. Let's get Ezekiel 25 verse 14. It says, "And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel." So the people that are going to actually carry out the act of destroying you Edomites are the Israelites. Okay, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American man. It says, "And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord, power." So the vengeance of the Lord is going to come upon these people. Let's get Job 18 and 18. It says, he shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. Right? All that land you took over, you're going to be giving that back. It says, he shall neither have son nor nephew, and that's how you commit a genocide. You destroy all the males of that people, so that they cannot propagate their seed. Okay, because the women, okay, even though in Obadiah 1 and 18, at the end of that chapter in Obadiah, it talks about how we're going to destroy all the Edomites by fire. Okay, we're going to set them all on fire. But when you destroy the males, that's why it says son or nephew, the males of your race, the seed, the lineage is carried by the men of a particular race. So if you don't have any sons or nephews, that means your line is done. Okay, it doesn't matter how many women you have, because those women will only reproduce the men, the lines that they lay down with. Okay, he will neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. That means you're done for. Okay? They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were affrighted. Yeah, the Edomites that are going to be in the kingdom, okay, as slaves, okay, they're going to be absolutely in a destitute position. All right, back at the bottom where they belong, the basis of men. Okay, because the scriptures call you the basis of men. Let's go back to this video real quick, because he said something else. I don't know why it keeps closed, but it's all good.
That is never going to happen. That is never going to happen. I would put the house on it. This would be like investing in Bitcoin in 2009. I'm sorry to burst someone's bubble if they don't like white people, but us going extinct is 100% never going to happen. And you can look through history.
It is going to happen.
And see this over and over and over and over. I'll break it down for you. Basically what it is something called white dormancy. What it is when everything's good, white people are docile, they're happy, they want everybody to come in, check out their stuff, they're very selfless. Then when it reaches a certain boiling point, they freak the fuck out and snap and start taking over everything until...
Yeah, that just proves our point that you are the devil that the Bible speaks of. You're the people that the Lord hates. You are the Edomites. Okay? You are the Edomites. But you see how he puts the Crusades and the Vikings in there? First of all, go to Elder Malcolm's channel, okay, Maccabean Spirit. He explains in many videos that the Vikings were actually Jake, okay? The Vikings were not you Edomites, all right, in history. And the Crusades was actually Jake as well. That was during the Dark Ages, and you so-called white people were destitute. Read Job, the 30th chapter, verse 1 through 5, okay? You white people love to take credit for a lot of things that you did not do. All right. So, but yeah, you are right. You are a violent people, just like the scriptures say you are. Okay? That's why you can't be trusted. You devils cannot be trusted. All right. I want to get back to this. I had Ecclesiastes. Okay, chapter 12 and verse 10. Okay, it says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so too is his wickedness." So yeah, you never trust Esau, because he's the goddamn devil, and he will fucking chimp out. All right, he will chimp out. You know, they like to say that we chimp out as a people. All right, but the real chimps are the Edomites, the real niggards. All right. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Meaning it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed that he's going to absolutely crash the fuck out, okay, when he feels like he's losing power. Okay, that's when Esau crashes out, when he feels like he's losing power. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death." Everywhere Esau goes, he brings death. He is as death. That's that pale horse in the book of Revelation. "And cannot be satisfied." Yep, he cannot be satisfied. They go every continent they've conquered. All right? "But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." So they say it like a flex, like that's a, you know, like that's something to brag about. Like they've been able to conquer the world, and you know their military is the strongest. That's not a flex, considering the fact that the Heavenly Father says He hates you, and He's going to destroy you, and you're all going into slavery. and then after slavery, you're all going to be destroyed. So, I mean, I guess if you want to brag about it now, but soon you're going to be realizing what it's like to be at the bottom once more. Let's get Micah 2 in verse 2, right? It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. That's what he just said. Okay, you just exposed yourself, sir. Was that Psalm 64 and 8? We'll get that after we get back to this video. Psalm 64 and 8, right? Yeah, they go dormant or whatever they want to call it, but this time you devils are going to be taken completely and totally out of power. Let's go to the book of Revelation. Okay, we'll close out with this one. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 12. Okay, in verse 12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, Esau, okay, you Edomites, is come down unto you having great wrath. Yeah, they freaking out, they're chimping out, right? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Yeah, you're losing power. The so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man is next up in power, in the power seat. Okay, even your women know it. Okay, that's why they're all trying to come over to this side. All right, and it's obvious. You see it all over social media. How these women these so-called white women are dogging out Esau, and essentially they're basically switching sides. All right, let's get one more. Isaiah 33 in verse 30. Isaiah 33 and 1. It says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. All right, this is your downfall, Esau. You will be eliminated. You will be going extinct in the very near future. All right, let's get that 1,000 years in the kingdom over with, and then you will be eliminated. So I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakah Kodash, Shalom.